Hey guys, welcome to the Art of Comics. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about heavy metal. That's right, Heavy Metal Magazine, the adult illustrated fantasy magazine, are probably my most popular, my most watched episodes. And thanks to Heavy Metal Magazine themselves, they actually promoted the channel, so that was cool. So those of you who came because of Heavy Metal like newsletter or however you found out about it, thank you for watching. We can't just talk about manga and art and all that stuff. Sometimes we gotta just talk about some freaking European boobs and all that kind of stuff. So the kids are all upstairs. They're doing their Zoom calls. It's quiet down here in the cave in the studio. So we're gonna talk a little bit about heavy metal right now. And this is the love edition. So there will be boobs. So there you go. So let's do it. Talk heavy metal. Come on, quick.
Are you ready?
Thanks for checking out the channel today. Okay, today we're gonna talk about this heavy metal. Now this is a recent one, so I wish Ariel was here, but we're still in the middle of a freaking pandemic, okay? Yeah, cases are down, deaths are down, but still, I ain't rolling the dice for nobody. So that said, Ariel's not here with me today, but I thought I would just do a quick review of this. I just read this a couple days ago. This is the Love Special. This is recent. This is like a year or two old. This is when we got our boy Grant Morrison is the freaking editor-in-chief. So we like him. Frank Forte, he's an editor. I like him. He's a cool cat. So what do we got here? This is 2017. So pretty recent. Not like brand new, but it's pretty recent. And I love this art by, I want to say John Jeans, but what's his name? Yeah, James Jean. Love his stuff. He became really popular, for me at least, when he did those Fables covers. Okay, so let's just get it on it. Let's do this, okay? So here we go. Y'all can see, I can see. We're going to talk a little heavy metal. Please, if you haven't seen my other videos on heavy metal, definitely go back. I have the first 4 or 5 issues all up there. They're long, hour-long issues. They're really good. Me and Ariel go through it all in detail. And then some of these more recent ones we're going to talk about too. But by the way, I like this. I don't know what happened to this IDW collab with Glenay, but I really like this image. It's like this kind of digital painting style, and it's got a lot of nice kind of feeling to it. This is a fun little story. The art by, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm going to say Liberator, but I think it's pronounced a little differently, and I think it's French. He's done stuff for ages with heavy metal, but it's kind of a new story. I thought it was kind of neat. Kind of a cool idea. This little parallel tales of, this guy meeting this girl who's kind of this waitress who he's in love with, and we see these close-ups. This actually reminds me of a little bit of Frank Quietly for some reason. I don't know why. Quite frankly, it does. And it's kind of an interesting little story, and he kind of goes into it and kills these people, and we find out that he killed them all, even her, because she was denying him of her love. So I actually like the art. It's pretty cool. The story's okay. But it's kind of a nice little twist. All these little anthologies, it's all about the twist. It's all about the last page, flipping it up a bit. Twilight Zone, I think, is what really brought that whole kind of concept around. There might have been things before, I'm sure there were things before Twilight Zone, but that was the big one that flipped the script at the end. So that's a big selling point on these little short stories. I'm doing a short story myself for an anthology right now, and it's got that flip the script, at the end, so it's kind of fun. It's a little tricky to do. Usually you work backwards. That's the easy way. Here's Inky Bial. So Inky Bial, he's done tons of comics for them, and I can't believe he's still doing this. I wonder, how old is this guy by now? Because he's been doing this since the 80s at least. So it's really cool to see his work. It's so different, though, than previous work. It's a lot more looser, it's just looser and kind of more chalk kind of shaded out. It's not nearly as detailed, and I think that's just. I mean, tell me what you guys think, but I feel like as you get older, you become a little bit maybe more expressive. You become quicker because you simplify things down. It's like, look, I'm not going to be like John Byrne of like the old school era and draw this out. I'm going to be the John Byrne now and just like rough it out, and that's good enough, and that's like more expressive. Art Adams, not Art Adams, sorry, Neil Adams. You see that in his work. Frank Miller, you definitely see. And, as people get older, they just like find ways to kind of just simplify things and make it quicker and less effort or less work, I would say. I don't necessarily think it works for everybody, and I don't know if it works for his, to be honest. That's just my take. This was I really like this. I don't know who this Mateus Lazaro is, but I really dig the art. I really dig it. This specifically is cool. And so kind of a deep sea adventurer character, she's looking for her mate who is like out there in the ocean. She's like in the little headquarters and they're communicating and she's trying to figure out where he is. And then he says, Grace, open the door, come back, I'm here. And then she's like, wait a minute, you're dead. You can't be there. You can't be alive. It's been weeks. She's like, look, I'm hungry. I need to get in. Let me in. She's like, no, how did this happen? What's going on? And he is this like angular fish, kind of like lure, right? So the lure for the monster is like the dead body of her mate to get her to open the door. I thought this concept was really cool. I just love the idea of that. So this art is really neat. I don't know this dude, but let me look it up real quick. Xenotropa. I want to look up more of his stuff. John Mahoney. John Mahoney, this is really, really great. I'm a big fan of this stuff. I don't understand it necessarily. It's not like totally clear as far as like a story perspective, but like the drafting, the tech drawing, all this stuff, the anatomy is really intriguing to me. And I like the warping of the background stuff he's doing and the color. This is almost stuff that like I dare say I would want in large editions or even like put on the wall. Some of this stuff is just really fascinating to me. I definitely want to know what John Mahoney's doing as far as like his originals. Like, are these digital? If they're physical, how big are they? They reproduce pretty well, but every now and then, right when I said that, I saw this. It's a little bit digitized here, and I'm a little disappointed by that. And I want to know what happened to these scans. What's going on? Was this on purpose? Because that seems kind of jacked up there. Most of the stuff looks okay, but I wonder if it's just like a scanning error. But look at this anatomy. Do you guys see this stuff? I mean, this is really good. John Mahoney. Let's look his butt up. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna look him up. mahoneyart.carbonmade.com. Yeah, I gotta look him up like today. It's kind of an interview. I thought it was kind of interesting. This guy did really kind of cool colors. I really just stared at this for a long time for just the colors and the design elements. There's a lot of different things in here that he's putting for textures and backgrounds and stuff, which I thought was really kind of neat. It does remind me a little bit of like Patrick Nigel, a little bit of inspiration from that, from the 80s kind of posters and stuff. And I think he did, well, this is all kind of explicit stuff. I think he did, was it game work? What was it he's doing? Oh, he's doing design work for like Adidas and Zune. So he did a lot of design stuff. He's from Sao Paulo and in Brazil. And I think he, was he graffiti too? He did some graffiti work, maybe. But definitely a really cool design. Dig it. This is kind of fun too. I like this story. This is, just a silent story of Frankenstein's bride coming to like rescue him, and so she, battles Wolfman. I love this. Battles the monster of the Black Lagoon, creature of the Black Lagoon. Battles Wolfie. Battles the mummy. Finally finds her partner, who's kind of like a mix of women and men together. And vampires there. We gotta take out Dracula. She stabs Drac. She's now here with Frank, and then she gets staked by the Invisible Man, someone she didn't remember. And so the Invisible Man, that was cool. It's like, wait a minute, who's killing her now? Like, she got all the guys. Nope, Invisible Man. That's kind of fun. Okay, this one I like too a lot. This guy reminds me of Paul Pope. I mean, look at this, guys. This is like a smorgasbord of really great artwork. Just really good stuff still. So I know that, like, I would say the 90s and aughts of heavy metal were kind of like down in the dregs. But I think nowadays you see a lot of like new and upcoming or just really established artists who are great. Plus some classics in here, like Bial. So this guy reminded me of Paul Pope a little bit, just the brushwork, the kind of contour lines, the way he does it. I like this a lot. I love the panels. I love the staging of this. She is, coming to this castle. She's a warrior. She sees the castle. There's a dragon. She defeats the dragon. Look at the great panels. Dragon, shoot of the arrow, but it's like mid-flight after it shoots. Dragon stuck. Then the dragon fires. She comes across here. I mean, just really great, like, action. This is a great panel there, too. Good stuff. Silhouettes. You got to use a silhouette. Notice he uses a silhouette, like one on every page, which is another classic thing. I need to do that more on my book, and I don't do silhouettes. I need to. I don't know why I find them intimidating. It's just like, and I feel like it's cheating. Oh man, there's more I could put in there. She climbs up. She sees her prince, her sleeping prince. Kind of like it's a reverse of like the princess, right? She kisses her sleeping prince, and he turns into a frog. That was cool. It's the opposite again, right? It's like, what you expect is he's awake and happy, and the switch is only the genders, but no, it's actually the switch is also that he turns into a frog. This is kind of cool. I like the line work in this. The story was a little incomprehensible about meeting this, him going on this blobby, ghosty character goes on a blind date. It's kind of disappointed when the blind date is just like him, another blobby character. And so he's kind of rude and mean to her. And then somehow this character jumps in. I don't really get the devil character, but she's involved. And they get 8. Somehow they all get destroyed. I don't get it. So wasn't feeling that one as much. This is kind of a cool, like, coloring. I like the kind of the colors. This was a little long, basically about the creation and these different spirits that help create the world and create mankind. And there's some insanity ensues, and angels and demons. And this page, it feels so out of place because the art looks so different than the rest of this to me. Just the detailing and rendering of it. Now we get mankind is created, and there's tumultuous things happening, and these spirits are still battling and trying to get revenge and such. That was it. It was okay. This is kind of fun. I'm not a huge tattoo guy, but if I were to get tattoos, stuff like this is really great. I do really like this. I mean, it's really the eyes, the red in the eyes is just really kind of cool. Some really great tattoo stuff. Yeah, like those glowing red eyes. I'd be curious to see how these fade over the years, right? Like, it looks great now. Does it stay that way? Or does it, like, you know? I don't know. I'm curious about that. Yeah, the beautiful stuff. Look at that. I mean, just really great. I mean, really cool. Cool stuff. Here's another kind of digitally created, painted story. I guess it's about love because it's about these insects and their world. I didn't even read this one, to be honest. I just kind of like thumbed through it. I mean, this takes a lot of time, you guys. This is just like a lot of effort. Great colors. Great three-dimensional shapes and design. You know, this is beautiful. This kind of stuff is really cool. It's almost kind of poetic, the story, and kind of like going through this story, kind of neat. Here's the interview with James Jean. And he worked on some murals. He's done some things for advertising, and then he got into comics. Just really cool work. And he's kind of a lot of different stuff too. He's not just the kind of Fables covers that we're familiar with, but he's done a lot of other kind of work. I think it's kind of neat. Yeah, cool stuff. Okay, we're ending on this story. I think this is the last story. This is a story by Grant Morrison. I don't know if it's in his contract to always write a story as the editor-in-chief for him, but he did. And this is really fun, actually. It's a take of kind of a He-Man take. There's a twist at the end. Just kind of a wild He-Man story in a way. Some modernization, of course, as you can see, this crazy sex stuff, orgy stuff. What drew my attention was the visual colors, the colors. I do love the contrasted complementary colors here that he's using. I do like the flatness, the flat colors, and using different colors for depth, right? So the cooler colors are going back, the greens, the warmer colors, the reds are up in the foreground. That's just kind of classic work. The art is by Andy Bellringer. I don't know Andy Bellringer. Might be European by the accent mark on the E. Great stuff though. Just really kind of fun. Starts with the story of these two like thieves. How they find this little crystal. They run off. Look at this. Look at that. I love this. I love this background. This is kind of very vibe-ish of like what I'm doing with Boaz. So I like that kind of stuff. And so I think about these colors, and it reminds me almost like Roger Dean posters, you know, from Yes, things like that. Album posters, album covers. And then he look at that. Isn't that cool? I do like the big thick line on this, big inked stuff. Almost a little bit of Kirby, Jack Kirby-ish on some of this. You know, the Kirby crackle and such. Yeah, I love these, like, less about hero. Hero is like, hero's this guy. He's like, it's called Hero. I mean, just I love the names. Love interest. Her name is Love Interest. Dude, come on. Isn't that brilliant? Hero and love interest. You and I have unfinished romantic business, and I'm right here. Unfinished romantic. As annoying as ever. Come, we're called to counsel in summons of the court. I just love. She's just got her boobs out, and he's like, you and I have unfinished romantic business, and I'm right here. And oh, by the way, his name's Wingman. So he's Wingman. She's love interest. I just love it. I don't know why. Motherfinger. Motherfinger is the name. He's the main guy, the bad guy. Motherfinger. Motherfinger. I don't know why. I just thought this was great. I just think this is fun. I would love a whole book on this. Just crazy, just wild, and then you get the sorcerer dude who's looking for this magic disc thing that's gonna control the universe. There's our guy Hero. And then Twixter, she's like, he turns out to be evil chick, dude. I got it now. The plot device. Yeah, this is the plot device. It's just called the plot device. And then classic ass shot, which you always have in freaking comics, like in X-Men especially, you always saw Psylocke's butt, dude. Always. Thank you, Jim Lee, right? And he's like, fuck. And so the twist is, so this is like, oh man, dude, what are we gonna do, right? The twist is, boom. It's a TV show, and this is just regurgitated stories that are told to these audiences to keep them working, and it's actually run by robots. So the world is run by robots. They use these repeating like serials, action shows, to placate and, numb the workers to keep working. And if that's not a commentary on our freaking society by our man, Grant Morrison, I don't know what is. I love it. These are fun. I was really surprised and happy to read this. This was a lot of fun. So there you go. $8.95 retails. You can pick this up. Actually, at the heavy metal store, they have it cheap. Usually they have this like half off. And really fun to read. There you go, guys. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing and checking out my Patreon, my own comics and stuff that I'm working on. And have a great one, guys.